Hey, Maria, back with another video. I'm getting ready to head for bed, but I was listening to music today and I was like all getting into it, I was cooking and stuff. But then like in the deep back of my mind, something kind of came over me and I felt like I wanted to make this video about fanaticism and the terror that this sort of cult-like behavior, invokes in people. And, I respect the fact that Christians have to, it's an obligation that Christians have to spread the word of God. It's a part of discipleship, that's required to do. So when I see people like, Jehovah's Witnesses and stuff, knocking on the door, I don't disrespect them. I think that there's a time and a place to do their job and do what's spiritually requested of them based on their belief and how they do it. So they're taking their time. They're not at work. They're knocking on somebody's door on their free time, and they're coming in and talking to you about it. And I've seen other type missionaries from different other churches, have a similar approach, and I have nothing against that. Okay, I really don't. I don't think that religion should be brought up in the workplace because of the legality issue. However, I see, sometimes, for example, a person might be new to a town. They're a new employee or something, and a person's kind of warming up to that person. They might say, hey, they want to bring this person into the community, so they might invite that person to a church. I don't see anything wrong with that. I really don't. Not necessarily, okay? Now, if the person refuses, it should be like, well, I'm going to shrug my shoulders and leave it alone, okay? But I don't believe that managers should do that because it can create conflict, okay? But as far as like, I understand that happens, okay? But what I'm talking about is the fanaticism. The pressure, the, manipulation, the force type behavior, the cult-like behavior, that mind control, it's very terrifying. And, it is a cult, okay? But obviously, what I'd like to see, these people are terrifying for several reasons. Because number one, they have a disproportionate self-love that is very hard to penetrate the truth to these people about, their stance and their intrusion in other people's lives. It's wrong. They can't justify it, okay? And I find these people dangerous. They're dangerous. I believe that that's one of the biggest pestilence on earth are these people. These people who, constantly want to force their way of life onto people or dictate what a person does and says and, all this other type stuff when you've never agreed to be a part of it. That's a big problem with me. And, it creates tension in the workplace. It creates division, not just in the workplace, but in other places. There's a time and a place for that. There's a lot of people who bash Jehovah's Witnesses and whatever. And, I can't say that I agree with all their doctrinal beliefs, but I do respect the fact that they're doing what they believe is right on their own time. Okay. I mean, that's their time. They're knocking on their door. They're not doing it at work, whatever. And that's fine, okay? And a no is a no. I mean, there's people who get turned down, I'm sure, who knock on somebody's door and they're saying, no, thank you. But when you start, manipulating them or arranging a person to, follow these people around and you bring it into the workplace and you got people, harassing people. I mean, Christians shouldn't be harassing anybody, okay? It's just wrong, and that's very disturbing to me, because in the back of my mind, I feel like, well, I don't want to be approached by a fanatical person. They are dangerous. They are dangerous to society and to themselves, and I wish that it would stop. I don't like that. They're terrifying, and it's the same sort of fanatic behavior that they look at in other religions and they condemn it. They condemn certain other religions, but when there's an element to their behavior that is actually very similar to the same people that they claim to hate. You know what I mean? Because there's always a consequence, you know, or some sort of punishment for not going along with their weird behavior, you know? And yet they'll sit there and they'll bash somebody else, you know, another religion that might be, you know, have strict requirements or whatever. It's earth shaking, okay? It's mentally disturbing. It's terrifying. And, you know, I don't ever want to encounter those people again, ever. You know what I mean? Keep that crap to yourself. I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it. They have created a lot of damage. I would like to say that there is a certain, you know, it's hot hypocrisy, okay? When these so-called Christians thought it was in their best interest to harass me, when they thought it was in their best interest, you know, when they were doing a Christian, so-called Christian duty to shut me out of employment, to exclude me, to treat me like, you know, a second-class citizen, then you had full cooperation, full participation of these weird freaks doing what they felt they needed to do. And then when they find out scripturally and legally that they're wrong, then guess what? There's not one person around trying to lend you a helping hand. So I think oftentimes, you know, these people get involved in these religions for bullshit reasons, and that's to sit there and inflate their ego, period. You know, for a sense of belonging, which I think is just, you know, it's pathetic. So anyway, that was my thought for tonight. I had to release it because, number one, it's freaking true. And number two, it was like kind of at the back of my mind. It was preventing me from enjoying my music and my dance routines in my kitchen, okay? And that was just enough for me to just express that. So anyway, I'm wrapping up this video. I hope you all have a rest of what's left of this Sunday evening. Have a wonderful week, and I'll be back with another video later. Take care. Bye-bye.